solo.
And hello! Welcome to Solo Playthroughs on this fine Easter Sunday. I know streaming on Easter is probably not the greatest way to get a lot of concurrent views, but Mrs. Playthroughs went on a trip without me. Can you believe it? I was invited, to be clear, but it's not in the cards for me. And yeah, so when as it is lately with me, if I have a chance to stream, I'm going to try to take advantage of it when I can. Yarrel's here. There is dragons in this, but they doesn't seem like the right kind of dragons. Yeah, we're gonna get to Maze Night this week. I am very hopeful. I have big plans this week. I want to do this. I still have Hearth Vigil coming up from Spirit Island. I'm going to do the Plum Island Horror later today. That is the spiritual successor to Dawn of the Zeds 3rd edition. And we have I want to do a Mage Night. I might do Baseball Highlights 2045 because we are back in baseball season, but we'll see. So doubleheader today. Cannot stream tomorrow, but hopefully Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I can get 2 or 3 streams on the channel. So, yeah, I should say big thanks to Stonemaier Games for a review copy of Wyrmspan. It was not on the original list of reviewers, which is totally understandable, especially after I trashed Expeditions on my last channel. Now, look, Stonemaier, look, it has, every company has its detractors. I will say, I'm very impressed. They still put my playthrough up on their website, which I kind of said to in an email to Jamie, like, hey, you might not want to do that. But he's like, no, they put all things on their website, which is a pretty cool policy. And then when they had some ding and dent versions of Wyrmspan available, so basically copies that had fallen off a truck somewhere, which they could not sell at retail, they put out a secondary list of reviewers. I signed up for that, and I was happy to receive it. And I've got to tell you, I'm trying to think the last time I was so surprised by a game. It might have been Set a Watch the last time that I played a game that I did not expect much from, and I was like, "Whoa, this is good." Um, my history with Wingspan is not tortured. I don't really enjoy it. I find Wingspan, the deck of cards is like too big. The end round with 5 actions, and all you're doing is laying eggs. I find it kind of a bust. Um, and I'll play it. I own it. They sent me a review copy. The solo mode is fine. It's nothing special, but just not a lover of that game. So what I was like, oh, Wingspan with dragons, how cheesy can you get? Then I found out that the designer was, Elizabeth Hargrave is still involved. She was just kind of like a consultant, and that the designer was the same designer as Apiary. Now, Apiary has its flaws, but it's still a pretty solid game. So I was intrigued, and playing this, I'm not kidding when I say I actually really like this game. I like the solo mode a lot. This is Wingspan, but really, really good. And so I'm excited to feature today. We'll play at least one game. I might get a second playthrough on the channel. We'll see how long the first playthrough takes. But this game's solid. If you're looking for Wingspan but want it to be a little more gamey, this is the one, man. I mean, Wyrmspan really hits in a lot of ways. And one of the things I like about it, it's not just a retheming. I mean, there's some seriously like core differences between the two games, and this one just really pops for me in a way that, again, really surprised me for what it is. So the ding and dent, how bad is my ding and dent? All the components are the same. If you look at my my thumbnail, you'll see a crease on the left side. If you look really, really closely, that is because there was a giant, like, dent in my box from where the box clearly fell, or a forklift hit it or something that messed it up pretty good. But Hey, everything inside works for me. So thanks again to Stonemaier, and especially since I did not expect much, but am glad to kind of feature this one. Phoenix Knight. I'm curious about this one. I didn't like Wingspan, but dragons does more for me than birds as a theme. If this is just Wingspan with dragons, I may pass on it. Yeah, dude, it is not. What's up, Eric? How are you doing, man? It is. It is not. it's. I mean, it's funny because the first time I'm playing, I'm like, the wingspan's there. I mean, you have the tableau. You're gathering things to your tableau, but the mechanics feel so different as you start playing that it wasn't until like I was halfway through a game that I was like, oh, okay, this is like Wingspan, but it is very very different. I would recommend. Jay from 3 Minute Board Games, he does a really interesting. He also does not like Wingspan, and he does a really interesting breakdown. And I think he gave this a gold medal game on his channel, which was like the first thing that got my attention. I was like, maybe this game's a lot better, but it really does deliver. Right now, I'm shuffling some Cavern cards. If you are only familiar with Wingspan, that might not make any sense, but we'll get there. I will kind of explain the mechanics as I go. Now I'm shuffling the dragon cards. And we'll kind of talk about that as we go. The game does come with an entire book explaining what all the dragons are. And it's really unnecessary and probably added $5 to the cost of the game. And, I might never open it again. But I'm kind of glad it exists. It's pretty wild. Same thing. So the game doesn't come with the inserts that Stonemaier game normally comes with, which is fine. But you do get two nice trays, one for all of the food sources, one for all of the eggs. The food sources are handled way better than in Wingspan. You don't have that stupid like luck of the die roll crap that can just go absolutely awry. I mean, the number. Matt Levy says, "Hi all, hello, Levy or Levi. I am sorry if I butchered it, but I'm assuming one of those two is correct." So you don't have that. You have just like a lot more goodies. Like you just get goodies on every turn, and it's a lot more satisfying as a solo experience. For sure, every round you will start with a certain number of coins. So there's some resource management. You spend those coins to do actions, and you get the same amount of coins every round. You get 6 at the beginning of every round, and you can store coins in between rounds as well. Normally you can store up to 9. You'll never have 9. But in the Ravel mode that I'm going to play for at least the first game, and maybe the only game, you can only have 2 coins in between every round, and that makes some sense. The Ravel mode is interesting. I probably should do the other mode first, but I'll do the Ravel mode. It does add a little bit more decision making. I think it also puts your strategy a little bit more on rails, and I'll explain that as we go. And also, I do find it really hard on the level 3 mode. I think they could have toned down the scoring for the Atoma a little bit. But that said, the normal mode, which is on the back of this card, I've never lost. So I played level 2 twice and won. I played at level 3 and I won. Now I wasn't crushing. I was only winning by a couple of points. I think I won on a tie once. Tie goes to the human player. Hold on one sec. Matt has clarified it's Levy. Hello, Levy. All right. Woo! So the Atoma cards to kind of toggle between the various Atoma Atoma decks. One of the things I've never seen Atoma Factory do this before, and since in a sense there are 16 different cards, and you just choose the right 8 cards for whatever difficulty you're playing, and I think that's a pretty clever way to do it. Atoma Factory, again, one of the best, if not the best, at creating a deck of card-based Atoma system to give you the ability to play some of your favorite games solo. Yeah, I should be a spokesman for Atoma Factory. Atoma Factory, again, my favorite Atoma Factory game. I mean, they do a good job of Scythe. I love what they do with Gaia Project, and I really like what they do here. They also do the ones for Wingspan. I mean, all the Stonemaier games is going to be Atoma Factory. All right. So we have the right 8 cards for Ravel 3. So we have card 2, 5, card R25, the regular 25, R14, the regular 36, R36, R8, 7, and the regular 1/4. Those are those 8 cards there. This card also gives you a really nice summation of how the Atoma scores, which is super helpful come end game. I think in Wingspan, they on the back of the scoring pad they had the Atoma scoring, which is kind of just a waste. It was seemed really unnecessary. Here, they just gave it right on the nice little handy reference card. So I'm going to shuffle these 8 cards, and we will put this here. You'll notice that this is a new kind of board here. We have a Dragon Guild board. The Dragon Guild will change from game to game. So we have the Guild of the Seafarers, the Guild of the Highlands, the Plains Guild, and the Rainforest Guild. I will roll a die. 1 will be the bottom, 4 will be the top. I rolled a 6, which is super helpful. I rolled a 4. We have the Rainforest Guild is going to be in play in this game. We will talk about the guild board as we go. I really like what it adds to the game. One of the things that will feel familiar is we have round scoring, where it's basically a mini competition every round. First place is going to get 4 points. Second is going to get first place to go to the top layer of points is 4, 5, 6, or 7, depending on the round. Second will get 1, 2, 3, or 4 points, depending on the round. If you don't do anything in that category, though, you do get 0 points. It is going to be important that we win at least 3 of the rounds against the Atoma if we want to have a chance to win this one. So I'm just going to flip this one. So helpful dragons. The number of helpful dragons on your player mat. So we're going to want to try to find some of those. Now we do have the same problem with Wingspan. It's a little less pronounced, I feel like, in this game. I feel like we go through the cards a little bit easier. But yeah, so helpful dragons is going to be a thing. There are 4 different categories of dragons: helpful, aggressive, shy, and playful. So we want dragons that are helpful. That I did not flip, really. This, aggressive dragons. So we want helpful dragons and aggressive dragons. We'll see if the deck cooperates for us. This is the number of eggs on our player mat. And finally, we have dragons and cards in our Amethyst Abyss. So the max we can get is going to be 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the max we can get is actually 7, because there are 4 rows. So if we get a dragon in each row, and there are 3 cavern cards or cave cards that we can put in our row there as well, and I'll explain that as we go. So instead of having the trees, the plains, and the wetlands, we have a Crimson Cavern. So that is the entirety of this row. We have the Golden Grotto, the entirety of this row, and then we have the Amethyst Abyss, the entirety of this row. We start the game with 1 egg. There is some special egg storage over here. So I guess our little Dracologist base camp has a space to store 2 eggs. At any time, you can convert 2 resources to get 1 resource of our choice. These are the coins. These are the ones that we spend for our actions. And I'll kind of talk about the rest as we go from round to round. So I've shuffled these decks. We're going to start with 3 dragon cards in play. We have the Cackling Dragonette. That is a hatchling. Hatchlings have some cool mechanics. We might get one. Hopefully I'll have a chance to explain that. The hatchlings can only go in the Crimson Cavern. And to place it on the Crimson Cavern, in addition to paying 1 gold coin, which is the base cost for Entice, we'll also have to spend 1 egg and 3 milk. This is the Multicolor Flyer. The Multicolor Flyer is they're both playful dragons, by the way, not helpful since we're looking for helpful and aggressive dragons. That can go in either the Crimson Cavern or the Golden Grotto. It has an endgame ability where we get 2 points for each dragon that has a when played ability, max 8. It's a medium-sized dragon, can hold 1 egg, and again is also playful. That needs, in addition to the 1 coin it costs to entice, it's going to need a meat and 2 gold bars. This is another hatchling. It's also playful. So again, huge deck of unique cards. Doesn't always cooperate. We got 3 playful dragons when all we need is helpful and aggressive dragons. Awesome. This costs an egg and a milk to build. It can only go in the Amethyst Abyss. It is a hatchling. And again, there are different abilities that happen when you explore on the miniature Rex. We're also going to take 3 cards into our hand to start the game. This is an aggressive dragon. It's a Royal Wyvern. That's nice. This is an aggressive dragon. It's an intractable Fire Vern. I would like a helpful dragon, but if I just start maybe if I punt the helpful dragon category and just really go for the aggressives, maybe that's a better strategy. And another aggressive dragon. So this shuffle was clearly amazing, where we got 3 playful in a row, 3 aggressive in a row, and that's that. Let's put out some cave cards. So every cave card has a when played ability. When played this card, you will get a gold, which again is one of the resources you can use to entice your dragon. So the 4 resources are gold, milk, which you've seen, food, and amethysts. So when you play this, you on the cave. So you don't. We have open. These are like basically printed on cave cards. So there's only space for 9 cave cards on our mat here. When we play that, we would get a gold bar and we would get an egg. Then we have this. When played, you get a meat and a gold bar. And then we have this, is when you play, you can cache, whatever, 2 resources from the general supply onto any dragons. That could work really well with some of these hatchlings here. So we will consider that, and that is from the general supply, which is nice. A lot of times it makes you cache things from your own personal supply. Now I'm also going to deal myself 3 cave cards. This one, when played, gives us a silver coin. Yes, please. This one, when played, up to 3 times we can pay a dragon card from our hand. You get to just discard it to gain a resource on the Dragon Guild. So this is a guild thing. We're going to be moving around this. The Atoma is also going to be moving around this. They'll be moving around it very, very fast. That is their primary way of how they will accumulate points, as we will see. So up to 3 times I get to pay a card from my hand to gain a step on the Dragon Guild. Each opponent may do this once. In a solo game, you just ignore any reference to what our opponents can gain. And then this cavern card is when you play, you gain an amethyst, and you get to lay an egg. So, one of the things that I really like, remember in that other game, Wingspan, you would start with a hand of 5 cards, and then you would also start with 5 resources, and then you would pay a resource for every card you wanted to keep. This one's different. You're dealt 6 cards, you get to keep 4 of them, and then you get any 3 resources that you want to choose. It's a really, really nice way to get this game started. I actually like all 3 of these dragons for different reasons. This one's going to be really hard to build because that 3 milk's going to be very hard to come by. I'm going to, that's over there. Yeah, Silent Cobret is going to be rough. I think I definitely keep these 2. Pay a cave card to draw 3 from the deck, keep 1, discard 1, and tuck 1 here. Ooh. Hello, they're all aggressive, which makes me happy, and I don't like those dragons. I think I'm just gonna keep those 3, keep this one, and get rid of these 2, and then I get any 3 resources that I want. I definitely want to build that intractable fire vern, so I'm gonna, or entice, I'm not building anything, I'm enticing him. I'm gonna get a food, I'm gonna get an amethyst, and I'm going to get a milk because I do need to start. That 3 milk for that hatchling is going to be interesting. So we'll do a little bit of a hatchling strategy. I'm also looking ahead. I mean, I also need the fact that the hatchlings can't store eggs is a minor problem with that, but I think we'll be fine. I do want to fill up my amethyst abyss because of that, and that all 3 of these can go in the amethyst abyss. So that's the setup. So we got to take the Atoma cards here. We're just going to discard 1 at random out of the 8 that we start with, and I'll just put that here face down, and then put the rest of the deck here. The player starts and goes first every round. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pay a coin, and I'll put it on the entice action. So sorry about that. When you choose an action, you want to be able to see at the end of the round where you spent your coins. So I'm just going to put 1 thing there, and then I'm going to pay the entice cost for the intractable firevine. Here's a slab of meat and an amethyst. Sir, he's super appreciative, and I'm going to put him here. All right, again, we have 1 cave card, open to us at the beginning of the game, so I'll just put him there, and that will make me happy to start. We're now going to go to the Atoma's turn. The Atoma flips this over. Now, if this was the last card in their deck, so the Atoma's going to have 6 or 7 actions every turn. If this was the last card on the deck, they would just stop. But it's not. So they're going to refresh this row. 2 of their cards will do this refresh the row thing. So we just happen to get one of them right off the jump. So we'll discard those 3 cards, and we get 3 new dragons. We have the Nurturing Fey Dragon. It's helpful. That could be interesting. We have the Flockling Dragonette. I think we're good for hatchlings at this point. And then we have the Haughty Wyvern. He's a shy dragon, so we don't really care about that. That is intriguing to me because it's helpful, but that might be hard to build that before the end of this round. So I'm not going to go too nuts trying to get that done. Now we're going to add 1 gold coin to here. So just like in Wingspan, in the Atoma version, we don't actually have to pay attention to how many helpful dragons the Atoma accumulates. That'd be super annoying. Instead, it's going to have coins that are going to be added or removed. At the end of the round, we're going to see what round it is, which is a base of 0 for this goal, and we're going to add the number of gold coins. And then we're going to compare how many helpful dragons we have to how many base plus coins there is for the Atoma to see who finishes first or second. Right now, the Atoma has 1 helpful dragon for these purposes, and we have 0. They're probably going to win this round, but we'll see how that plays out. So they get a gold coin yet. Now, there are some cards that will take gold coins away, but playing at level 3 difficulty, there are more cards that add for sure. Then we're going to go to the round. In round 1, the Atoma is going to move 1 on the Dragon Guild, and it does not get any benefits from there. It only cares if it hits or surpasses a brown space on its turn. If it does, then it's going to get some goodies as determined by the bottom of the card, but we do not have to worry about that at this point. Now, what do we have to worry about? That's an amazing question, kids. I want lots of milk, and I think that's going to be harder to get than is ideal. But so maybe taking the silent Cobret was not the right idea, but who said I was smart? So we are going to explore. When we explore, we're going to go, the first time we explore the cave, you just put the coin right there. Second time, it's a coin and an egg. The third time in a round, if you did it the third time in a round, wouldn't recommend, you would do a coin and 2 eggs. So I'm exploring the Crimson Cavern. So I'm going to start, my Dracologist is going to go there. I gain any resource that I choose. We don't have to roll any dice. That's garbage. We're just going to do this. Excellent. I'm going to get 1 milk. Now I'm going to go here. I can gain a food. I can cache it on the Intractable Fireburn. Sure. Nope. I won't. What is that? That's an egg. I won't. I'm going to actually hold on to that one because that makes some sense. And then we're going to go here. We get to get 1 on the Dragon Guild. We get there. That gives us an egg. We can store that egg in our little extra storage over here. And then we hit a stop sign. We can't move any further. We just head back to base camp with what we have gathered. Now, I think we're going to have to do that again because I do want to get the Cobret out this round. I just think that's the best way to make this happen. The Atoma is going to go. We flip this over. It does not have that symbol. It doesn't matter, though. Again, that only matters at the end of the round, so we'll talk about that on the 7th card only. Here, it loses the coin that it added, so now it has a base of 0 going into this round, and it's going to move 2 on the Dragon Guild. 1 and 2 does not get the benefits. It just moves. It's trying to get to the brown space. My turn. I'm going to have to explore the Crimson Cavern again. All right, so I'm going to go there. I'm going to spend an egg. I'm going to leave the egg on the thing until the end of the round, and then we're going to get a resource. I'm going to get a milk. We're going to go here. I'm going to gain a food. I am going to cache it on the Intractable Firevine. I go here. We're going to get a food. I'm wondering if I should have added it the first time. Yeah, I will add it the first time too. Why not? It's a little risky. I might regret that later. So the first time I went, I was just making sure I needed one for him, but I'm going to have it anyway because I got it from there. So there was really no reason not to cash it. I might end up regretting that decision, but no turning back now, kids. So that is done. That was my third action for the turn. The Atoma is going to go. It is adding a coin back, so it's back to one helpful dragon. And then it's going to move how much? The largest, as much as I've excavated, which is only the one that I started with, plus one. So it's going to move two on this. So when you're playing, in these cards are unique to Ravel mode. So when you're playing in Ravel mode, you have strong incentive to not add a lot of these cards early, which again, I do think the other mode's probably a little bit better. It's a little more flexible. In this mode, you really want to get out dragons and just start excavating later, because as much as you can prevent that dude, if you prevent that dude from hitting one brown space, that could be a huge swing in points of like 7, 9. I mean, it could be as much as like 10 points depending on what it would get otherwise, right? So you really want to try to prevent it from hitting those brown spaces. If you can prevent it from hitting two, that'd be amazing over the course of a game. So you are kind of forced down a different kind of path when you're playing in a Ravel mode. I do think that's interesting, but I think the better puzzle is probably in the regular difficulty level. All right, so it just moved one because that's as far as I've got, and a plus one. Now, if you play on a lower difficulty in Ravel mode, there is a card that goes for your least explored cave. That I think is a little more interesting. The fact that that one card might be in, I kind of wish they left that card in level 3, but they didn't. All of the cards are either number of explored spaces in the cave that has the most, or it is going to be the number of explored spaces in the cave that has the most plus one. So here we are. We're just moving forward too. All right, so yeah, this is essentially like the worst card you can get, but I'd rather get it in round 1 when I haven't put any of these out yet. It does make life a little bit easier. My turn. I'm going to entice another dragon, and I'm going to entice the silent cobret. I'm going to pay an egg. I pay 3 milk. And I now have myself a silent cabre. All right, maybe I should have kept that food. I'm going back and forth. I'm very iffy. Oh, can I do that? I wouldn't mind getting the royal wyvern out. I have 2 aggressive dragons. I mean, that's just sick. I could get the nurturing fey dragon out, which would give me 1 helpful dragon. But at this point, it's 1-1. It's still 4 points. I don't know if I'm going to have extra cave cards. I only have 2 actions left, which is part of my problem here. If I put this out, though, I could get a 3rd action. We'll see. I probably should have kept that food source, but no, I'm going to just make the intractable fire burn worth tons of points and see what happens. Set to Cobra. I'm binge watching your Gaia project videos. I suck at the game though. Any tips to be good at it? Just play a lot, dude. Yeah, my early videos especially. I mean, you could tell. I mean, how much I was still pretty new at it. Some of my early comments. I mean, I think one of my comments was like, "You suck at this game." Like, I mean, it wasn't that, but it was essentially that. Just have fun with it, man. There's a lot of little things, and I think as you get the rules, you can stop worrying about getting the rules right. Like things will start coming to you. And one of the problems, I mean, there's 14 different factions, right? So getting good with one faction doesn't necessarily make you good with others, especially like the best gods are more advanced. In solo, the Lantids can be a big struggle. I think if you start with like the Ivets, they're really, really good. You can play the Terrans just to really nail down Gaia forming. I mean, the Terrans I find super strong. That guy, they're so, that Gaia forming track just really opens up for you. But yeah, just have fun with it, dude. All right, so that was my 4th action. This is the 4th action for the Atoma. They're losing their coin. All right, that makes the nurturing Fey Dragon a little bit more interesting to me. And now they're advancing just 1. They hit a brown space. Oh, the nurturing Fey Dragon's going away. What a The Atoma is taking the card in the first position. So that's going to be worth 7 points for it at the end of the game. It's also taking the cave card in the first position. That's going to be worth 2 points for it at the end of the game. So again, you can, if you can avoid one brown space, that's a 9-point swing. So again, getting these out in the first round is super dangerous. And we're going to replace that. That's a stalking drake. And we're going to place this. That is gain a cave card and lay 2 eggs. So now I am less interested in the Fey Dragon. Funny how that works. Oh, but it took the cave card I wanted too. Nope. Did it? No, it didn't. But still, this is me being sad. I think, man, I might actually hold a gold coin. You can store 2 gold coins between rounds, and that doesn't seem that insane to me right now. The haughty Wyvern. That's shy. Shy isn't going to do much for me. Oh, that's interesting. I could play the Stalking Dragon. Okay, so I'm going to explore the Amethyst Abyss. Now, man, this is the first time I'm exploring the Amethyst Abyss, so I don't have to worry about the cost there. Those are per cave. We're going to go here. I'm going to gain a cave card. I am going to... God, it's too good. I'm going to take this cave card. It's really good for me. And then we're going to move on to the Silent Cobra. Cobret. I'm going to be able to cash a food on it. It has to be from my supply, not the general supply. When I do that, I gain a resource of my choice. I'm going to gain a gold bar. I move here. I gain a bump on the Dragon Guild track. That lets me gain a card. I'm going to gain the Stalking Drake. So it says gain. Generally, you can gain from the top of the deck or the display. If it says draw, it has to be from the deck. If it says gain from this display, obviously you gain from display. And then I hit that stop sign. I go back to base camp, and then my turn. We refill. We have the oracular dragon, and the cave card is gain a card and gain a bump on the Dragon Guild. Alrighty then, we are going to now go to the Atoma's turn. It's going to move 1, so we're keeping it very kind of starved at this point. My turn, we're going to spend this coin to entice the Stalking Drake. We're going to put him here. It cost me that gold bar. So again, we haven't done any excavation in this first round. So I have no resources, which is always a great place to be. And then finally, we are going to do the Atomas. Oh, I forgot to put a thing out. Oh, I have to put this here in the entice. I knew I was cheating. Yeah, that makes sense because I have explored 3 times. I have enticed 3 times. I was thinking, oh, I have an extra action. I could do something else. No, I cannot. That's the end of my round essentially. But I clearly wanted to get the Stalking Drake out there, so unfortunately I would not get a chance to explore the Golden Grotto. That would be helpful because then I could, again, as long as you have 1 dragon there, you're moving up in the Dragon Guild, and this is a big way for you to get points. But alas, so the 6th turn for the Atoma, unfortunately adding 1 to the helpful dragons, which is super annoying. It's the first round. The Atoma's moving 2. I have no more actions. The Atoma flips this over. It ends its round immediately. We ignore the rest of the card because it is the last card in its deck. So we're going to go up here. We're going to see if we have any in-between round abilities. We don't. This comes down here. It has 1 toward its helpful dragon count. I have 0, so I get absolutely 0 points for that. It gets 4 points for beating me, and we'll just leave that tile there. This comes over here. We're going to add this to the Dragon Guild mat, and you'll see how those become important later. This comes down. We're refreshing the dragon row. Now, there are some dragons that mention your neighbor. If you pull any of those at any point, you just put them away and pull another one. So we have a selfish lung dragon. We have a fey tamarin, and we have a beckoning cricket catcher. Awesome. We're going to put these over here. And new cave cards. Gain 2 milk. Gain a dragon card and 1 on the dragon killed, or pay 2 eggs, then gain a cave card from the display and immediately play it for free, which could be nice because as you go over here, they will start costing eggs to use to put on the board. I'm going to get 6 gold coins back, and I'm going to get this egg. I put the eggs there, otherwise I would forget to get them. Nope, sorry, wrong egg. This egg. And now we go to round 2, where all we care about is aggressive dragons. I'm whipping your butt, dude, because I have 3-0, which is nice. We are going to try to get a bunch of eggs next round, because the Atoma's at the start of the base of 5, so we're going to want at least 6 or 7 to have a chance to score that 6 points compared to the 3. All right, so we're going to reset their deck. Interesting. All right, so we're obviously going to have to build some cave cards. We can't, we have nowhere to place a dragon until we do. So it's time, kids. It's time. Interesting. The hatchling is shy. We do want to fill this up to make sure that we are loaded up on that, but we also need things that can hold eggs. So there's some benefits here. I'm not sure if they're totally worth it, but I do need to gain some dragon cards. I need dragon cards. All right. Well, that's a thing. So I'm going to use $1 to excavate. I think makes the most sense. I can excavate the first 2 turns. So this column, it's 0 to excavate. You just have to use the coin for the um, for the action. I will play this card here. Yeah, pay this card here. I can cash 2 food from the supply. I'm going to cash. I can put them on any dragon or dragons. I'm going to put 2 food here. Now every time I cash on there, I get 2 resources. I get a resource of my choice for each. I'm going to get an amethyst, a gold bar, and an amethyst. And when the third food, so this is a one-time thing, when the third food is cashed or third stake is cashed, also gain 2 on the Dragon Guild. So we go there. I get a cave card. I'll get this one. And I go again. I'm going to get an amethyst. So we're 1 away from getting to the brown space ourselves. We are now going to the Atoma's first turn. Nothing happens up top. Round 2. Oh, I gotta replenish the cave card. Round 2, we're gonna move 2. Really know if I like any of those dragon cards. I'm gonna excavate again. And I think I excavate in the middle row. I don't have much going on the top yet. But the dragon I have can only go in the middle or the bottom. The top, I mean, that's a great way to get some resources. This gives me dragon cards, though. Let's give me cave cards. I think I do go to the top. Do I try to get no? I don't think I want another hatchling. Just I know I need a lot of eggs, and none of these are giving me the ability to store a ton of eggs. Pay 2 eggs, gain milk. Yeah, I'll pay this here. Oh wait, what am I doing? Wrong one. I'm gonna pay to put this on the top. I immediately gain a silver coin, so I'll have another coin to either spend this round or save to the next round. The Atoma's turn does not replenish the display. It has 1 toward its aggressive dragon total. I still have 3, and then it's going to move 1, 2 plus 1, so 3. So 1, 2, 3. It passed the brown space. It gets this dragon, which I was thinking about building or enticing. So that's a thing. This guy comes out. That's nice. It's really nice. And then this goes here. So this activate the when played, activate the when played ability on any dragon on your dragon mat. Interesting. All right. I'm going to entice a dragon with my third action. I'm spending a gold bar and an amethyst to put this guy here. Remember, I'm definitely trying to fill that row for the final round. This comes out. We have a second aggressive dragon for the Atoma, and it's round 2, so it moves 2. Again, it's going to start flying around there. It's going to get probably around 10 or 11 dragon cards by the end of this game, even with me trying to slow it down. So again, I do find this mode really crazy. I mean, even on hard with regular mode, the dragon, they only usually end up with like 8 dragon cards, and this they're going to end up with like 10 or 11. It's a very, if not 12, it's a very different kind of feel, and I think probably could have been toned down a little bit. But what do I know? All right, I'm going to explore the Amethyst Abyss. I'm going to go here. I'm going to gain a cave card. I don't think I want all that milk. I'm going to just draw from the top of the deck. Ooh, lay 3 eggs. That could be really nice for next round. I'm going to, you know what? I knew I was getting that amethyst. I would have taken a food before because this was my plan all along. So I'm going to cash a thing there to gain a resource. Now, again, I've already done the third, so that doesn't matter, but these are all points for me at the end of the game. I will take the amethyst this way. Amethyst could be helpful. I'm going to go here. I gained 1 here. I'm on a brown space. So I can play. I could do any of these things. I can just go for points, which is at the bottom of these things, which is only 4 of these markers. So I can only do this 4 times in the game. Or I can pay a resource to excavate a space for free with a cave card from my hand or the display. Or I can play a dragon from my hand or the display and ignore all resource costs. I will do that. So I can't ignore egg costs, but I can ignore resource costs. Oh, this should have gone away. That was from last round. So I'm gonna put that there to play the Hawkish Fireburn into that. So that was a good card to come out for me. It can hold 3 eggs. Again, being able to hold eggs is going to be important for me next round, and I have the ability to lay 3 eggs out there. Pretty nice. So I do want some cave cards. Interesting. So I can get a dragon card that way. We'll see. This comes down. It is the ordinary resplendent Codal. You can go anywhere. At the end of the game, get 8 points if you have a hatchling, a small dragon, and a large dragon in this cave. That's going to be really hard to pull off. So I don't. 8 points is a lot, plus the 3 that it's already worth, so that'd be 11 points. But right now I have a hatchling. I'm not going to get another hatchling. I would have to get exactly a large and a small dragon that can go in the amethyst abyss. So I think I'm going to ignore that. That in itself is also medium. So essentially, you'd have to have a hatchling, a small, a large, and then that. So it's a very exacting thing. But I have other reasons why I might want to grab that right now. So we'll get back to that. The Toma's turn. It loses one of its aggressive dragons, and then it's going to do 2 on this. We go to the bottom. It grabs the selfish lung dragon, and it grabs this cave space. So again, that's 9 points for it total. We're going to replenish that at the end of the round. It's the Allactic Amphitheater and this. Now, a lot of these cards will have the Atoma use their markers to take up some of these spots. We just, the 2 times that it hit, or the 3 times that it hit a brown space, we just happen to have cards that only gave it a cave card and a dragon card, which is good and bad. So it makes sure that we have full options. Oh, by the way, I should have finished this row. When I went here, I could have grabbed the cave card. So this would have been my option. That was not out yet. I will grab, again, that wasn't out yet, so I'll grab this one, and then this would have come out here, and then this would have been added there, and then this, I just forgot to finish my exploration, so gain a card and lay an egg. So sorry, I was like, wait, why am I still there? So again, you keep going until you hit the stop sign, so that's why getting more dragons out is helpful, because you just have your explore turns get more and more effective as you go. All right, I'm going to excavate again. I'm going to put this sucker here. That lets me gain a dragon card from the display. I will gain the ordinary resplendent Codal. I don't want to build it, but I want to use it to get some resources, as you'll see. And I gain +1 on the Dragon Guild. Again, just from playing that, so I'll put that there, which gives me a dragon egg. That's my 2nd egg on my mat. The Atoma's turn. They're losing their other aggressive dragon. It's round 1. They're going to move 1 space. My turn. I'm going to explore the Crimson Cavern. I'm going to go here. I gain a resource of my choice. Oh, this should be replenished. It's another hatchling. I'll take a gold bar. I'm going to go here. I'm going to gain a food and cash it onto this. I go here. I get up there. It gives me another gold bar. So actually, let me have gained a food from there. I'm going to go here. I'm going to tuck this card from my hand to gain the resource cost of the dragon. So it's going to be 1 of each minus a milk. So we're going to get a gold bar, an amethyst, and a food from there. So now I have 2 of each resource, which is super nice. Give me some flexibility going to the next round. Then I go here. I gain a resource. I'll gain another food, because when I explore down here, I am going to want to keep spamming that. Again, these are all points. Tucked card's a point, and cached resources are also points. Cached is like just a tough word for me. So remember, I've only enticed once. I built this for free because of the Dragon Guild. The Rainforest Guild is super nice that way. And then I think and then I've excavated 3 times. So I'm trying to keep this level as I go, because we are playing in Ravel mode. He goes back to base camp. This comes out. Replenishing the dragon row. So new dragons come out. It is the Wyvern. That's an interesting one. It gives you the ability to move up in a dragon guild every time you explore in that row. However, it costs you a gold coin, and gold coin costs in dragons. You gotta really sure you want that. Steely Fae, pay a dragon to play a dragon from display for free. That's super interesting. Don't hate him. Being able to play 2 dragons on 1 turn can be really strong. Obviously, you need to have the cave cards in place for that to happen. And then the Clairvoyant Fey Dragon, gain 2 cards. And again, you can gain from the display or from the top of the deck. Super strong. Anyway, and then the Atoma is moving 2 on this. My turn. There's definitely an argument to just rest here, right? But obviously, I do need dragon cards. So I'm going to explore. I get to gain a dragon card. Medium holds 1 egg. Goes in the set. Both of them have interesting ideas, but I'll take this one. We go here. We reveal a card from the deck. If it's medium or large, it gets tucked. It is medium, it gets tucked. Otherwise, we would have had it added to our hand. I would have probably preferred a card I could have added to my hand, but it is what it is. We go here, we gain a bump on the Dragon Guild. I can gain a card from the display or the deck. I really want to make sure I fill this Amethyst Abyss, so let me grab a card, see if it can go there. Oh, it absolutely can. Oh, that is a super interesting card. Oh, that's wild. I like it. We'll do this, the Ophidian Recuse. So at the end of the game, I can pay a resource, a cave card, and a dragon card to gain 5 points on the top of the 6 points that it's worth. And it can go in any 3 of these caves. That's an 11-point card. I do kind of dig it. And then I stop. So even though I have a cave card there, there's no dragon there, so I hit that stop sign. If a dragon was there, I could go there and gain another card. But unfortunately, that didn't work out. So again, I would have liked to have this card not to be medium or large, because then I'd have a 3rd card in my hand, which could be really helpful. But it is what it is. The Atoma's last turn. It does not have the stop symbol, so it's gaining 2. Bam, it goes there, and now it has no more actions. I'm out of coins. I'm going to put 1 coin back in the supply. I'll take 6 coins, getting ready for the next round. And this should have been replaced. Again, haven't seen. Ooh, 4 points if there are no aggressive dragons. Well, that's garbage for me. All right, we're going to activate any between turn abilities. So I am going to do this. I'm going to pay this. Just paying 2 eggs is expensive, so I'm going to get rid of that to draw 3 cards, keep 1, discard 1, and tuck 1 there. Make sure none of these care about neighbors. None of them care about neighbors. Interesting. I will keep this guy. I will at this point it doesn't matter. I'll discard this one and I'll tuck this one. So getting a lot of points from tucked cards and cached resources. And we did those. Now I have 5 aggressive dragons. The Atoma has 0, so I'm going to get 5 points. The Atoma gets none. That's a nice reversal of fortunes. We come here, we get a 3rd marker available for the Atoma, because if there's no markers, they can't place things, but they haven't placed any yet. So just based on the cards that have come up, this comes out. We replenish the Dragon Row. We have a Brushtail Fey. We have a Minor Sharpclaw. Ooh, lose 2 points for each other aggressive dragon. That's a non-starter. And then this cares about your neighbor, so that goes away. That's really interesting. I do like him. He doesn't cost resources. He just costs basically a gold coin to entice and then another gold coin. But he's 7 points. I'm sorry. Another gold coin, but he's 4 points. But then he lets you lay a lot of eggs. Probably not worth it. Unless I can play it for free, which I might have a chance. All right. So we replenish that. We're going to replenish the cave cards because I don't think I did that yet. Why are there 2 over there? 2 are from the beginning of the game. Then I discarded 1. Yeah, so these 3 go away. And we're adding 3 here. When played, gain a gold coin. When played, immediately play a card from your hand with the discount of an egg or a resource. And then when played, gain a gold bar and an amethyst. We're going to reset the Atoma. We get this egg, which I can put here. So we have 3 eggs. And remember, the Atoma is starting at a base of 5. So they'll be somewhere between 5 and 8, most likely. We'll see how many eggs I can get this round. The Tendering Moth Dragon would give me 2. This would give me 3. Pay a dragon to play a dragon from the display for free. Oh, that means I do need to get another dragon out. Probably discarding the hostile North Fire Dragon. Although he's super cheap. But 3 points for this, the potential 11. Alright, this card comes here. And we're good to go. So I do want to set this thing up with the Steely Fae. So I'm going to build. It's dangerous. So I'm excavating another space, which obviously means the Dragon Guild's going to keep going. It's one of the nice things with the Ravel mode. You have to think about all these things. But if I'm trying to set this up, which is what I want to do, I'm going to need to build out. And it is what it is. So I'm going to excavate. It also costs me an egg because I'm in this column now. And I'm going to play this guy. I have to fill this row. Play this guy here. And that lets me lay 3 eggs. Yay, eggs. So 1, 2, and 3. All right. We are going to flip this over. We don't replenish the dragon cards. We take away a gold coin. There are none on there. It is round 3. The green thing is moving 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's taking the dragon card from here, the cave card from here. So again, just gets 9 points. Does not place a marker. This gets replaced. It's the Marshy Web Dragon. Pay a thing to activate. Ooh. That guy's interesting. It's really interesting. And then this. My turn. I'm going to entice. Oh, man. He's so expensive. That's fine. I'm going to entice. I'm going to play this. And then the 2 gold bars and the amethyst. I'm going to play this here. I'm going to pay a dragon from my hand. So I'm discarding this guy to play a dragon from the display for free. I'm going to play. Still like that 5-point grab. I'm going to play this to put this. Oh, this should have been here. Sorry. This, I'm going to put this. Yeah, it had it because I knew that's what I wanted to grab, so there was no reason not to. So he goes here. Then I have to fill this up for next round, so we'll see if we can get there. But again, so I pay for free, so I can ignore the coin cost, which is big. And then I'll be able to lay 2 more eggs. So right now I have 5 eggs. That will get me up to 7. We'll see if I can do anything else to get some eggs. So that's going to give me a coin and a milk. I'm going to need to do some exploring. I need to get a cave card. You got a lot of needs, kids. A lot of needs. So, Atoma's second turn. It is the 3rd round. So again, I've excavated to the 3rd round, but neither of these cards cared about that. So the 3rd row. So we're just essentially running along. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, this should be replaced. The Atoma is actually getting that. And then it's placing a marker for the first time. So it's going to go 1. It's a 3rd row down, skipping any rows that are filled up. So that's filled up. So 1, 2, and 3. That could be pretty brutal. I do want to try to get one in there myself. And then that's its turn. So again, it moved 7 in the last 2 turns, which is a lot. My turn. I need a cave card because I can't put this guy out until I get a cave card. So I'm going to explore down here. I'm going to come here. Oh, this should be replaced. Oh, I like that. Yeah. So I'm going to gain this card, this cave card. I'm going to come here. I'm going to cash a food there to get a gold bar. I'm going to go here. I move up on the Dragon Guild. I get a gold coin. And then I go here. I get another cave card. I don't love those. I'm going to grab one from the top of the deck. That could be interesting. This comes back here. Atoma's turn. It's their 3rd turn. Oh, that gets replenished. Activate the... Ooh, that's also an interesting one. Activate the in-between rounds ability of any dragon on your player mat. Here we go. We're replacing the dragons. Replace the dragons. Remember the Titans, replace the dragons. That's how it goes, kids. The capricious venomous worm. The great golden dragon. Ooh, that's a lot of points. If I can grab him, I do like that one to go right there. And the macabre lindworm. That would be super interesting. We're gaining a gold coin there, so now it's up to 6. It's the first one that it's gained. And then it's round 3, so it moves 2. So it's moved a total of 9. It's gained a dragon card. Lots of crazy things happening. Matt Levy says, I have a very important question. Would a dragon omelet be as delicious as it sounds? Jeremy says, disgusting thing to say. I don't know. I mean, wouldn't recommend it, but if you have a chance to try one, let me know. I'd be interested. All right, my turn. I'm going to excavate. I'm going to pay an egg for the pleasure. I'm going to play this card here. That lets me immediately play a dragon card for a discount of 1 resource. I need 4 resources to play this. Now I just need the 3. I'm going to play this guy here. So trying to load up on some endgame points now. All right, so at this point, I have 2 more coins. I'll probably want to explore, and I might save a gold coin for the last round, which I think would put me in a good spot. I do like him. That'd be a nice point getter. All right, Atoma's turn. Don't replenish the deck. All right, it would end the round if that was the last card. It's not. It gets a gold coin, so now it's up to a 7. And it's going to get 3 plus 1. It's moving 4 on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, which means it hits a brown space. Oh, it's taking the dragon I want again. That's the 3rd time. This goes here. This goes here. That was super unfortunate. This guy comes out, and this comes out. It does not place on the guild board, but woof. So again, it's already up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. It's unreal how many cards they get in the Ravel mode. And again, I think it's a little bit. I think the balance is a wee bit off. That's my personal opinion. All right, we're gonna go to explore here. I'm gonna gain a resource. I'll gain a gold bar. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna gain a food and cash it there. I'm gonna go here. I gain a Dragon Guild space, which gives me a milk. I'm gonna go. Oh, I have nope. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I'm just gonna undo all of it because I'm doing these in the wrong order. You'll see why. I'm gonna actually explore here. I gain a dragon card. Woof. I'm gonna gain one from the top of the deck. Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna go here, reveal a card. Is it medium or large? It's large. It gets tucked. I'm going to go here. I'm going to gain this. I gain a milk. I'm going to go, this is a when played ability. I'm going to go here. I'm going to gain another card. We'll gain, I want to build, I need something that goes in the Amethyst Cave. There we go. I have no helpful dragon, so I don't know how useful this guy is. Then they go here and I get to lay an egg. I will lay that egg up here. Atoma's turn. Gets another gold coin. It's up to 8. That's really rough. Moving 2. Because it's the 3rd round. This guy should have gone to the base camp. Now I'm going to explore the Crimson Cavern. I'm going to gain a resource. I'm going to gain a gold bar. I'm going to go here. I'm going to cache the food there. That's the 4th time I've done that. I'm going to go here. I'm going to get to the Dragon Guild. I mean, so many options. The Ravel mode, they do score the 6 points there if they got there. So it's a question of whether I want to get points or just get resources. I still feel like I'm feeling their resources. If I can get another helpful dragon, I actually like this guy a lot. But I would need to get helpful. It's my only chance to actually make that work. Because it's worth 4 points, another 4 points if there's a helpful dragon there. This guy. Gold coin, 2 resources, or pay a resource, activate the resource free. The thing from the display. I think I do that. I'm going to go here. Still engine building a little bit. I'm going to spend this milk, because who wants it? Not me. To play this here from the display. And I'm going to play it. I get to ignore the cost. So I wouldn't have to pay the eggs. The question is, do I do it here? But I can't take max advantage of it. So in the last row, if you can discard 3 things at the time, you will get another gold coin. And I just don't think I'm going to be set up for that, unfortunately. So I think I just put this here, which gives me a food. So I'm playing it for free. So I save 1 egg instead of saving 2, essentially. So I'll get this food. I also get another egg, though, which could be really important because I'm still hoping, I guess, hope that I can edge him out there. That's going to be tough, though. I'm only up to... This will give me 6. This will give me 7, 8. That's interesting. If I get a gold coin and 2 resources... Spent the milk. Put the food back. Yeah, I'm not going to do that one. I think I take the gold coin and 2 resources. Let's do that. I'm going to take the gold coin. It gives me 8. They'll be giving me 8 actions potential for this round and 2 resources. I will take a food and a gold bar. Nope, food and an amethyst. I'm going to come here. I'm going to tuck this guy to get a gold bar and a food. I don't get the, so I get the food cost of the tuck dragon. I don't get the gold coin that's his cost. Put that there, and then I come here, and I'll gain another amethyst. So I would like to get down here to do this one more time to get one of those point grabbers, but we'll see. And the Atoma might have other ideas about how that's going to happen anyway. So, and I'll see if I can get another helpful, because if I can do helpful, that's a no-brainer to fill that up. Atoma's turn reduces this. I'm glad I did not. Oh, if I built here, this would have been bad. So it's getting 3 here. 1, 2, 3. My turn. So it only has 7 now. Potentially could get 8. I'm going to get the 7. I would like to edge it for the 3 points. I think the best way for me to do that is get an egg there. I need. I'll do it down here. So I'm going to explore with a gold coin and spend an egg to do it. Don't worry, I'll get it back. I'm going to go here. I know you were worried. I could hear it. I'm going to get a cave card. Pay 2 dragons and gain. Oh, that's a really good pull. I'm going to go here. I'm going to cash this to get a resource of my choice. I'll get a gold bar. Now I'll get a food. So I spent the food to get a food. I'm going to go here. That gives me an egg, which I'll put here. I'll go here. I'll get another one of these from the top of the deck. Pay 2 resources. Oh, what? Those are 2 great pulls. And then I go here to lay another egg. So that gets me up to 6. I'm going to have 8. I have a gold coin left. So that was my 7th turn. Atoma 7th turn. Does not end the round. It moves 3, 1, 2, 3. It's going to grab the 3rd dragon. That's fine. And then it's going to put a marker down on the 4th row. 1, 2, 3, 4 is how that works. So it has not taken either of the points. It has 1 marker left here. I'm going to save my gold coin in between rounds, I think. Wait, it's at 5. It's at 7. I'm going to be at 8. Yeah, I'm going to stop right here because anything I do is going to cost me an egg if I excavate, unless I play this one, which I don't want to play. So I'm going to stop right here. We'll come back to the next round, and let's make it happen. So, in between round abilities, I'm going to pay this to draw 3, keep 1, discard 1. No mediums. Great. Oh, are you helpful? I have a helpful one that doesn't go in the top. I'll take the particularly haughty wyvern. I'm going to tuck 1 and discard 1. And then since I have at least 1 marker in the Dragon Guild, I get 2 eggs here. So these, I'll take 6 of these back. So I start next round with 7. This will come off. This egg will come off. It has 7 eggs. I have 8, including the 2 over here. So I get first. It gets second. This should have gone back to base camp. We're going to give it a 4th marker. It's 2 on the board. It's got 2 left. We're going to replenish the dragon row. Helpful. Oh, in the top row too. I love you. That's super nice. This is nothing. Oh, that's a really nice point card for me. These go away. This comes out. 1, 2, and 3. Let's draw from the deck. Oh man. Yeah, I gotta make sure I get this one for sure. Yeah, okay. This one's also fairly good. Wow, that was me like 6 eggs. Jesus. All right, so I replenish those. I get this egg. And I have my 6 resources, and we're good to go. All right. Risk it for a biscuit, says Jeremy. Double helpful. Let's go. Yeah, that could have been worse. That goes there. All right, I definitely, the 4 dragons I want to, I can only build 4 more dragons. I have 2 here. 3, and then I need 1 for the middle. But I might, if I only build 3, that's still fine. That's a lot of points. So I'm going to go into the middle. So I'm exploring the Golden Grotto. I'm gaining this dragon card. Yes, please. And we're going to go here, reveal a card, medium or large. It's small, so I keep it. We go here, I gain on the Dragon Guild. I get a food. We go here, we gain a dragon card. I'll get 1 from the top of the deck. That can go on the bottom. That's, or the middle, so that's excellent. We go here, we lay an egg. This guy goes back to base camp. So building you 4 probably. And that should work. Thomas' first turn. It's going to get 3 on here. 1, 2, 3. My turn. I'm going to pay a cost to excavate. I'm going to play an egg. I'm going to play this here. Then I'm going to immediately pay 2 resources to draw the cave from the deck. This should have been replenished. Sorry about that. Cave from the deck, and immediately play it for free. Oh. Don't want to pay eggs. But it could be helpful. You guys are expensive. All right. So I'm going to place this. Here. No, I didn't put it anywhere. I'll place this here so I don't have to, I can ignore the egg cost. I'm placing it for free. Immediately, I can pay an egg to gain 2 resources. I can do it 3 times. I'm just going to do it once. And I'm going to pay the 2 resources I get by paying the egg. Actually, I'll do it twice. I'm going to have, I'm going to get eggs. I'm going to do it twice to get 4 resources. I'll just take 1 additional. I will take a amethyst. Apparently I need a lot of those. And since I spent 3 resources, then I can go ahead and one time I can spend those 3 resources to get a gold coin. Right, so I started this round with 7. I've used 2. I now have 6. Advanced math. So that was all one round. I spent 1 egg and then 2 more eggs to get 4 resources. So that was a nice pull. And now we're in a very interesting spot. I can get. We need to get a card. But I'm wondering if I should spend this last egg to get 2 more resources. And I'm wondering if it matters. Opponent could do it once, but obviously they can't. I'm not getting a lot of resources there. Turn that in. I'm gonna clearly explore that at some point, so I don't know if it's worth it. So I should be fine. I mean, I'm definitely getting there, and I'll make it work. Do need, oh, when I go up on that, that's up to 3 times. Pay a resource to get an egg. I will, you know what? That's a good exchange. I'll do this to get 2 more resources. So I did this 3 times. I spent 3 of the resources and I gained the other 3. So at this point, I'm just missing 1 resource, but I should be good. I have this just hanging out there. And I do need another card. Gain those 2. Which when I play this will let me do some things. All right, Atoma's second turn. It takes a gold coin away from there. It has nothing. It's the 4th round. It moves 3. 1, 2, 3. It gets this dragon and this cave card, so just a 9-point grab. Does not place a marker. This comes out. You kind of, if it's gonna place markers, you kind of want it to place a lot of markers, because then at some point these stop being efficient for it, right? But right now it's still got 2 more markers, and it's only going to get points, it seems, from those. My turn. I'm going to go to explore the Golden Grotto. Or do I want to build that guy first? Probably. Yeah, I'm going to entice the Calm Lock Serpent here. So that's my first entice I've done. I explored the Golden Grotto, I excavated, and I enticed. Now I'm at 8 for the Amethyst Abyss thing, so we're good here. This card I'm never going to play. I could discard that for resources with that. Interesting. The Toma's third turn, replenishing the dragon display, adding a coin here, so it's up to 6. Now it will max out at 7 no matter what, because the most it can get is 7. That is like a wrinkle in the rules. That doesn't care about neighbors. That doesn't care about neighbors. That doesn't care about neighbors. It gets the coin. It's the 4th round. It moves 3. 1, 2, 3. My turn. I'm going to explore the Golden Grotto. I'm going to gain a card. It doesn't matter. We go here. I'm going to cash this to gain a resource. I'll cash it there to get another one. I'm going to go here. I moved here to get a dragon card. It really doesn't matter. Oh, interesting. That would allow you to pay a silver coin when you play this to gain 1 on the Dragon Guild and then a resource and a cave card. It's good early, not so good late. I'm going to go here to get a cave card. I'm going to go here to gain a egg anywhere. I'm going to go here to gain an egg anywhere. And then I can go here to discard 2 cave cards to lay up to 4 eggs. When I play that, discarding this. do want resources. I think I'm going to need this to get another gold coin. So I'm not going to get the eggs just yet. I can always revisit that later. At some point, I'm going to run out of space for eggs anyway. I know I'm getting 2 there no matter what, so that's done. Atoma's turn. It's Toma's 4th turn. It loses its gold coin, so it's back to 5. And then it gets 4 on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. End game, it gets a dragon and a thing, so that's 9 points for it. Nothing. And interesting. My turn. I think I entice just to kind of see how things develop here. So I'm going to entice this guy. 5 points if I have 4 dragons in the Crimson Cave, which I will. Atoma's turn. Oh, shoot. I screwed up. I put this guy in the wrong cave. So let me get the 2 gold bars back. And I had this, so I'm still 1 short. This guy would have had to go here, and instead of laying another egg, I would have just been able to cash a milk. I had it. He can only go in the bottom. He can only go in the middle. So I would have wanted to do it in that order, which is fine. So yeah, sorry about that. This is the 5th turn for the Atoma. I was gonna say, what am I doing? So this guy's going on the top. This guy's going in the middle. And I'm going to be able to fill out all of these, which is fine. Atoma's turn. It's their 5th turn. Replenishing the dragon row. One, 2, and 3. And then it's getting 4 bumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. It passed the brown space. It gets this dragon card. And then the 3rd marker, 1, 2, 3, which is good and bad. So it only gets fixed points. So right now it just prevented me from getting a lot of points from there, but it doesn't get the 6 points, so the trade-off's like not horrible. I just need to build these last 2 because they are a lot of points. A lot of points. All right, let's go. I'm going to excavate. I'm going to spend 2 eggs to excavate in one of these 2 things. I'm going to put this here. When I play that, I can discard 2 dragon cards to immediately play one of these from the display. I'll play this one. That immediately gives me a food and an amethyst. And then that's going to let me have what I need there. And then since I played this there, I can discard 3 cards and a thing to get another gold silver coin. Now I won't be able to do that again because I don't have enough resources, but I did get 2 out of the 3, which is good. It's hard to get all 3 because it's a lot of extra resources and stuff that you're spending to get those extra gold coins. But I didn't spend any gold coins to build dragons. Remember, I was able to build that guy for free. So I now have my cave totally fleshed out. That was my 6th turn. 6th turn for the Atoma. It gets a gold coin, so it's up to 6. And it gets 4 plus 1, so 5. That's super gross. I should have replenished that. And this, it's going to get the dragon card from the 2 spot. It's going to get this from this spot. So that was an unfortunate turn for them. This comes out. This comes out. So again, 9 points every time. It's up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And again, that's with me keeping it super low. It's just too many points for the Atoma on Ravel mode, but I still kind of like my chances right now. My turn, I'm going to entice. I'm going to spend these 3 resources, put this guy here. Atoma's turn. It does have a turn, and of course it moves forward, which essentially is going to be 4 points for it, as you'll see, but its game is over. Because remember, I started with 7, I ended up at 9, so I've taken 7 turns, I have 2 left. I'm going to entice. I'm going to spend these 4 resources, put this sucker here. Toma's done. Can I get to there is the real question. I think I'm going to be just short. Nothing else is going to give me a gold coin. Yeah, I'm going to be just short of getting back there for the 3rd time, which is fine. If I had the extra gold coin, I think I would have just ended up there. So it's just it's unfortunate. If I had a dragon card, I'm not going to even be able to tuck, which is also annoying. But I've enticed 4 times. I excavated twice. It's a pretty good round. So I'm going to do the Crimson Cavern thing. I'm going to gain a resource of my choice. I'm going to cache a food on top of here. I'm going to gain a cave card. I'm going to go here. I don't have any dragons to tuck. I'm going to go here, gain a resource of my choice. I'm going to go here to lay an egg. And so I did spend a lot of my eggs, and I'm going to go here to cache 2 resources from my supply to any dragon. I'll just cache them there. And that's that. I have no more actions. So we're going to go middle of round abilities. I'm going to pay this. Well, it doesn't really. Well, I get to tuck 1. So I'm going to discard that cave card to draw 3, keep 1, discard 1, tuck 1. So that happened 3 times. And since I have 1 marker in the Dragon Guild, I get to put 2 eggs here. Ideally, I would have been able to have 1 more action to come back here to like really load up on eggs, but you know, it is what it is. At the end of the game, I'm down to these 2 resources. So clearly it was a pretty close one. I activated those abilities. I have 7, it has 6, so I won this. That's off. And now we can go to scoring. All right. Is the iconography intuitive, or is there a lot going on? The iconography is fairly intuitive. There's also a lot going on. I mean, this is definitely a lot more gamery than Wingspan. So, I mean, if you're going and expecting Wingspan weight, that could be a struggle. So I'll just finish off this scorecard. Greg, Atoma. Now, the Atoma's going to score 7 points per dragon card. We know they have 11, which is insane. So that's 77 points there. They're going to score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards for this, which makes sense because they always grab a dragon card, and either they fill this up or they get a cave card. So they have 8 of those, so that's 16 points. They, from round end abilities, they get 4 plus 3 plus 4 for 11 points. They are 1 point for each space they move beyond there, so that's 4 points. And then they would get points for if they had fixed points from the Dragon Guild. They do not. They don't count that, so they get 0 points from there. So their total is 97 plus 11 for 108. They score a ton of points. The last 4 games I played against the Ravel mode, they had 122, 110, 104. I mean, this is what they score in Ravel mode. In the regular mode, they scored like the 80s and 90s. So you know, it's one of those things. It's going to be close. I'm not really sure where I'm going to flesh out here. So my scoring, markers in the Dragon Guild, I actually got 0 points from that, which is a problem. Last few games I had 7, 0, and 10. So like, you know, I do like to try to score points there, but it just wasn't meant to be. I was just 2 spaces away from making that happen, right? We have printed on dragons. We have 1, 2, 3, 6, 10, 14, 15, 19, 23, 26, 29, 28, plus 8, so 37, which is definitely also low. So I don't think I won this one. because you have 1, 2, 3, 6, 10, 14, 15, 19, 23, 26, 29, plus 8 is 37. Endgame abilities, we do get a fair amount there. So 5, there's another help, so that's 9. Oh, you're kidding me. Ah. Missing out on those 5. Don't think there's anything I could have done about that had I remembered. Because I had to discard the cave card to do that. I didn't discard cave cards here. I was just short. The resources, had I... If I didn't go resources, it's a 5-point swing. But I'm getting 2 points for that, plus and I'm spending an egg. I mean, it comes down to like tight, because I'd probably explore here again. I think that's worth it. So I had no resources at all. This was, I got that round. So I cashed 4 things on there this round. That let me lay an egg, which I just laid here. So instead, if I had done this, these eggs weren't on the board yet, but they're later. So if I just done this and done this, now I come here, I grab this, I go there, cash 1 from your supply, I didn't have any. I go here, I get another cave card. I go here, I get another cave card. I go, how do I get resources? Oh, that's how. I go here, I get an egg. I go here, I gain a milk. I could cash it, I won't. And then I go here, and I could discard 2 of these to get 4 eggs. Yeah, that's a lot more points. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this should come off. And then at the end of the game, I discarded. Oh, I could only do it that once, I think, because I would still need a cave card. 1, 2, 3. I could only do that once, because then I would still need a cave card to get this dragon and tuck the dragon, which is fine. And then I would still have these 3 things. So if you think about the net there, those 3 things to get the 5 extra points. So if you think about the net there, I didn't cash, but I got 2 more eggs, 5 more points. It's probably at 3 or 4 more points, which could make a difference. Again, it's a save cave card there, but I ended up with 3 cave cards. 1 I used for eggs, 1 I turned into a dragon, and then I discarded everything I have for the 5 points. All right, so sorry about that. So that's 9 plus 5 is 14. $1 per egg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 eggs. That's not a lot. This did not come together. Cached resources. So 5, 8, 12. Talked cards. It's just 2 under here, I think. Yeah, they just get so many friggin'. I mean, 11's a lot. I mean, I don't. I just the number of like, if it was more interesting, if you could really like limit it down to like 9 or 10. Like I just think that the gap where it doesn't matter how I play, it's always getting 11 or 12. I feel like it's just too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 tut cards. I mean, again, the last 4 times I played on Ravel mode, it was 11, 11, 11, 11. They actually literally had 11 every time. 11 cards, 5 cave cards, 11 cards, 6 cave cards, 11 dragons, 5 cave cards, 11 dragons, 8 cave cards. Again, the reason they had 8 is that they did so little on there. So essentially 3 of these just prevents them, and then not the lack of 6 points there. But I really needed to get around that a third time, I think, because that 6 points could have been helpful. Public objectives, I get 5 plus 6 plus 7. That gives me 18. And then 1 point for every combination. Any coins I left, I'd have had a point, which you're never going to have coins left. And any combination of 4 resources, 4 dragon cards, and 4 cave cards, which is 0. So my total is 37 plus 14 is 51, plus 9 is 60, plus 12 is 72, plus 7 is 79, plus 18 is 97, and I lose by 11. Yeah, the only game I won, I scored 115, which was just absolutely bananas. I had 10 points from the Dragon Guild. I had 7 more points on the printed cost of my dragons. I ended the game with 13 eggs instead of 9. I had no cash resources. I had 9 tucked cards. I had 1 extra point there. So, I mean, actually, the 17 points, the majority of that was going to come from. Oh, I had 20 points from endgame abilities instead of 14. So yeah, it just was really loaded up top there. But you know, Ravel mode, I I enjoy it. It was enough that I wanted to feature it, but I do think you're probably better off playing on the Atoma. It just seems like a more reasonable challenge. I like what they were going for, that you want it to be responsive, but if you're gonna make this actually matter and my decisions actually matter, like no matter what I do, if it always gets 11, 11, 11, 11, like my decisions really don't matter that much. I mean, I think if you're gonna actually make the decisions matter, you've gotta you've gotta scale it different, that it's gonna possibly end up with 9 or 10 as opposed to 11. Um, because that's a big swing. I mean, 1 less brown space, it ends up with 9 less points because it doesn't get this or this. Potentially ends up with 13 less points depending on if it gets this marker, right? And that's a huge swing in a game. You got that extra 4 points for jumping around too, right? So if it ends here, that's all of a sudden uh -9 well, we get the 5 instead of the 4. Right, so it's essentially just -8, so it gets it down to 100. At least that's a closer game. If it ends here, that's minus, because if we get the 5 instead of the 5 and the sword, change the math a little bit in my head. Sorry for that. But if it ends here, that's like -17. You all of a sudden like it makes it a much different game, and kind of gives you that feel you're actually playing against a real opponent. Um, at this point, I just think that third level is scaled a little bit too hard to really realistically win, unless you get some really crazy end game point combos. Even at level 2, you're adding in. Oh, my bad. At level 2, you just had the basic 1, 2, 3. So is it literally only level 1 that puts in the -1? Yeah, that's weird. I think this card should be in all versions of the Ravel scoring. That's more interesting to me. Having this only be in level 1 makes that really cheesed, where it's like, oh, it's always going your max cave. And I just don't think that's a really as interesting of a decision space as you'd want it to be. But either way, end of the game, like, it's just, you're always filling out your tableau. Like, you're not going to have games like in Wingspan where that first round just goes poorly and you just feel like you're totally out of it. I like that. I like the dragons. I like the art. I just love so much of what they did with this game. I think it's an absolute huge improvement on the system. And credit to Elizabeth Hargrave for like allowing that to happen and being part of this process. And kudos to Stonemaier. I mean, I literally thought this was a joke when this came out. I texted a friend of mine. I was like, you know, the game that absolutely nobody needs. When I first saw Wyrmspan, and to be now where it's like, wow, like no, this game is absolutely great, and it's something I would eagerly put on the table. I do worry it's maybe a little bit more complicated for the group that I want to play it with. A little bit too complicated for them, but I don't think so. I think they'll get it, especially having had some experience with Wingspan. There's some basic concepts that will totally work. But yeah, this was losing losing by what I lose by 11 is it's gross. I really thought it was coming together early, and then that last round, I was like, oh, cool. I think I'll be in good shape. But I wasn't able to. I just don't know where I'm milking out those last 11 points beyond the Atoma just needing to slow down a little bit. I mean, if they have cards 1, 2, and 3, even if you're at level 2, I wonder. I don't fully understand the numbering on this. I think they just overthought it. I think it should have just been 1 through 16 and just like this 1-4 crap and all. It's just weird. What is the difference? So the brown spaces are the same. Adding 1 and taking away 1 is the same. So the rotations are 2, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3. This is 1, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 1, 4, 3. This is 2, 1, 2, 2. So you're probably talking 6 less rotations. That could make a big difference for sure. For sure. At least it feels like a closer game. But who knows? Is it better than Wingspan in your opinion? Yes. I mean, it's honestly, it's not even close. Like, I will never play Wingspan again unless I'm at somebody else's house and they really just want to play it and it's the right group. Like, I see zero reason to ever play Wingspan again. Like, I just don't enjoy it. Like, I like this a lot. I heard it's tough to get resources when you are a beginner. I don't find that at all. And the reason I don't find it is you can always use a coin to explore the Crimson Cavern, and these cave cards all give you goodies. The Dragon Guild is giving you goodies. Like I don't see it. And the flexibility of just spending 2 resources to make 1 of whatever, like that could definitely come into play. I definitely don't see it. Um, so that my experience is very much not that. Um, yeah, I do wonder if there's any way I could have done the order of operations different. What I probably should have done, I probably should have explored the Crimson Cavern, gotten those resources, and then when I explored the Golden Grotto, and then played the excavate thing, where I could have gotten an extra silver coin for either of those, that would have given me 1 more turn. I still don't think, because that 1 more turn would have ended me here, I don't think that makes up an 11-point gap, to be totally honest. But I think that was a misplay on my part. I should have made sure I got a gold coin for each of these, and that would have worked. Um, so the fact that I never explored the Crimson Cavern, I should have. I was trying to wait to this to come out, the cash, but the cash wasn't worth it, and so I could have gotten another egg, another jump on here. Um, that would have made a lot more sense. And then if somehow I magically lucked into another jump on there, that 6 points there would have been used. So that was a misstep on my part, playing this out when I knew I wasn't going to be able to get the extra gold coin for both of those. was a misstep, because those, especially in Ravel on level 3, I think that you have to make sure you're getting those extra actions in the last round. Jeremy says you forced to win every sector or you lose no matter what. Um, any one of these? I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I mean, I did lose. If you lose more than one, you're screwed. In the game that I won, but again, I scored 115, so I would have won this game. And the Atoma scored 110. But in the game that I won, I scored 20. They scored 5. So I think they had a 0. No, I'm sorry. The scoring doesn't work that way because it doesn't match up. Publicly done objectives, they scored 12. So they must have done. Yeah, they scored 12. They must have won one of them. So I think you can lose them. There are games where it's like it's just the wrong dragons come out. Like I had one that was like you wanted playful dragons, and I just never saw a friggin' playful dragon, and it was like one of these two. So like that's big points at the end that you're just leaving on the table. And so I actually got smashed on that in that game. I think I actually just fold. I didn't even score it. I just folded it halfway through. Um, this is interesting. 4 points for each set of traits on your player mat. So aggressive, playful, helpful, and shy. That would be a rough. That's a rough build. I don't think the cards come out clean enough for that. I had one that it was like I got 2 points for every small dragon I had, max 8, and that was a big point getter for me. Like that was you get those end game point getters. I mean, imagine this game if I don't get these two cards right at the end there, where it's like, all right, that's 9 points. I got that 14. Again, I had to reconfigure it. Yeah, I think the only thing I could have done different was, again, gone to the Crimson Cavern, gotten the resources, made sure I had an extra gold coin for each of those. I'd still have one more turn, but I don't think it matters. I mean, I was here, and at that point, I explore, I spend the egg. I wasn't getting I wasn't getting that last jump, because you ideally I have, well, this one would have been like that's 9 points for me, but then the Atoma would have had there for 6. That's only a net of 3. That's 6 points straight up, which is super clean. In addition to one more turn. So had I been able to get there, you know, I would have had another gold coin for somewhere everywhere. There are dragons that like give you 2 gold coins when played. Like those are real strong. So there are ways if you can get the gold coins to get those extra actions, which is definitely what happened when I scored the 115. I was just really loaded on tons of actions. Is the default difficulty level too easy and the hard one too difficult? I would say the difficulty levels on this side of the card, the default's pretty easy. I think the hard one's a nice challenge. Again, I wasn't walloping it, but I never lost. But I wasn't. They were very, very close games. I think on Ravel, I think Ravel 3 is there's something. It's just getting too many points. Like, because if you want me to care about building out my cave, like I went as slow as I possibly could. Remember, I did not excavate a cave until the second round, and the sucker still got 11 dragons in its stack. So that means that it crossed the brown space 11 times. For it to cross a brown space once, that's 6 moves. So somehow the Atomas moved 71 times. Am I doing that right? Yeah, it moves 71 times around the Dragon Guild chart over the course of 4 rounds. It's just too much. I think the difficulty level on level 3 here, it's moving a lot less times. I mean, I think when I beat it on hard, I think it got 8 dragons, and it was 8 points a dragon. Yeah. So on level 3 here, it was getting 8 points. It was getting 8 dragons pretty consistently. So it was getting 64 points as opposed to 77 points. So that means that it's moving a lot less. And I mean, that's just significant. I mean, that means that it's moving a minimum of 18 spaces less on non-Ravel mode. And I just think there's some flaw in the design there where they just didn't I don't know how else you're building out your dragon board um, to try to be responsive. So I think if your goal was that I build out my cave carefully because you want me to kind of factor in what the Atoma's doing, well, you didn't give me enough reward to slow down building my cave because I've slowed down. I was building as slow as you possibly could in those first 2 rounds and still like be reasonable, and the sucker still, went around that track 71 times. It's like it's a lot, dude. It's a lot of movement. So I think it's just the Ravel mode is probably not the most balanced. Um, and if I was gonna play this game just to get a relaxing, like I'm not gonna go for if I want like a heavy challenge, right? I got other games to go to. For this, I'd probably just stick with the regular Atoma and probably have a much better time. Plus, the Atoma in Ravel mode, the Atoma also scores for these, which is bananas to me, which makes me really think that you didn't have the balancing right because, like, so you're going around the track 3 more times, or you're hitting brown spaces 3 more times. In addition, you're getting 6 points, nine, or a lot of times they can get 9 points from here. Like that's just something went wrong because it's not like they're getting a cave card and putting a thing there. They're always getting a dragon card. So the reality is every time they hit a brown space, they're getting a minimum of 9 points, and they could get as many as 13 or 10, right? I got lucky that they didn't cover either of those two. I unfortunately just didn't have the ability to hit that Dragon Guild space the third time to take advantage of it. But I mean, it's not like this allowed me to play a card from my hand, ignoring the cost. This allowed me to get an extra silver coin and 2 resources. Like clearly, those were important, right? If I just went like, oh, scoring, then the Atoma either takes one of those strong abilities from me, or it really nullifies my point gains, or at least eats into my point gains there by going here. So I just think that something got screwy in the balancing of Ravel mode, and I almost wonder if like that was their initial intention, and they realized something was messed up with it. So like, oh, here's an alternative mode, and then they kind of went more like standard with the Atoma difficulty. Well, if that's the case, like that makes sense to me. I think they could have really they could have made some of these cards be number of at least another one of these cards excavation -1, just to keep the game a little bit more honest. Because again, the only way you're winning is if you just get astronomically high. I mean, 115, it was a really high score. My scores have been 104. Nope, my scores have been 98. I didn't even score that one. 98, 115, 97. Uh, my first game against level 3 was 90, 98. So yeah, I'm generally in the 90s to 100s. The 150, 90 to 100 range. 115 was definitely a lot for me. So a lot of things had to come together for that to happen. But that's that. So thanks again to Stonemaier. I definitely highly recommend Wyrmspan. I don't highly recommend Wingspan, especially now that Wyrmspan exists. You're gonna see this is like 2 games today. That there's a similar other game, like right. So I'll be playing Plum Island Horror later, which is like the spiritual successor to Dawn of the Zeds. Um, Wyrmspan is the spiritual successor to Wingspan, right? And I love Wyrmspan. I will never play Wingspan again. And the other, the unfortunately, Plum Island Horror, I will probably never play again after I put it on camera today. So, it's just funny. Like spiritual successors aren't always better. They can be worse. I mean, they can just make you want to play the original more. So I do like I'm impressed by the fact that they were able to look at Wingspan, such a wildly beloved game. Um, one of the few games in the last few years that has crossed over into like general public consciousness, and they really hit a home run with this one. The guilds do change up a lot of things. The Plains Guild I find the hardest. They really want you to lean into that egg strategy. And then the rest are Seafarers is similar to the Rainforest. The Guild of the Highlands is all about excavation. But yeah, like that's really strong. I mean, you get to pay a silver and then excavate up to 2 spaces for free with cave cards in your hand. So like late game, if that's still available, bam, you save 4 eggs, and action economy is like awesome there. So I really dig it. So yeah, this is more like the egg faction. This is the dragon card faction. This is the cave card faction, and this is the Rainforest Guild. Is kind of a little bit of everything. I do like the point for the cost printed on all dragons. It could be a really, that's like 9 to 12 points often. This is 3 points for every column of dragons filled on your cape. So this is up to 12 points. That's like, I think that's what was in play when I won, because I just had a filled mat and I got 12 points from that. Guild of the Highlands, 1 point for each cave card on your mat. So that's up to 9 points. That's weird. So this is up to 9 points. This is up to 12. And this is depending on how many eggs you can get, but it's really hard to get that many eggs unless you're really hammering the Amethyst Abyss, and you have so many extra cave cards you can just turn them into eggs there at the end. So Madi says hello, how is it going? Is it over already? It is over already. It was a valiant effort. I came up 11 points short. Probably could have played something different at the end, which would have gotten me a little bit closer, but I do not believe a win was in the cards for this one. So just needed the Atoma to take 2 less turns and for me to play one thing different. But I feel good about what we've accomplished here today. I will be back in a few hours. I'm going to go watch some Orioles baseball and opening weekend, and stay tuned. If you're not into Plum Island Horror, I am trying to get Spirit Island, Baseball Highlights 2045, and Mage Knight on the channel this week. Mage Knight is long overdue considering the recent announcement of the expansion. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Madi, it's funny, Madi showed up because I know I have a patron challenge from like a year ago that is still on my radar, but I will get to that soon. I promise. I can't promise that. I'll get to that hopefully at some point. Maybe I can. Sarah's away this week. Maybe I can actually knock that out this week. Spirit Island, nice. Yeah, I am trying to get through the Nature Incarnate Spirits, and then I'll start doing 2-player playthroughs with all of the aspects. I have feelings about aspects, but yeah, we will hopefully get those knocked out in the next 2 to 3 months, as I try to find the time to do more of that. But yeah, I mean, the Nature Incarnate Spirits, you know, I have thoughts. We are through 2 of the ones that are super overpowered. Hearth Vigil, I find, also rather overpowered. And overpowered is a weird word. They're not spirits designed for me. They're spirits designed for other people who might find enjoyment in what they offer. I do not. So I will, get them on the channel and likely just put them in the box and never take them out again. There are some spirits in Nature Incarnate that I really do like, and I'm looking more forward to playing with them than I am with Heart Vigil, because Heart Vigil is just a little bit bananas for me. So that's about that. This was super fun. Sorry we could not pull out a win, but we learned something about dragons. I don't know what exactly, but it was profound, and I hope everybody again continues to have an amazing. If you're celebrating Easter, have a enjoyable Easter afternoon, and hopefully I will see you later. Thanks again. Until next time, happy gaming.
Solo.